year, the whole Tommy Dreamer story. And there's rumors that, he's going to want to retire this month. Next month. Early next month. Let's call it a couple of weeks.
Okay.
But it looks like the WWE don't want him to leave. They're offering him to, extend his contract out, but nothing's going on. Dreamer, I guess, vowed to win the WCW championship. I'm sorry, the ECW. I'm sorry. ECW championship before June 6th. I guess maybe they are working something out. Maybe they're not. I'm guilty. I will say right now, I have not seen an ECW show for a few months now. I just don't really see anything happening. Ever since, I tell you what, ever since they went ahead and they put Eric, what's his name? Eric Estrada? What was his name?
Eric Estrada?
Yeah, the dude that always rolled his R. Estrada.
Oh, my
that
God.
Guy. Okay, so ever since
I'm so glad Umaga's by himself.
Ever since he went ahead and became the GM for ECW,
yeah,
I stopped watching it. So apparently, I guess I missed a lot. And
I missed a lot too. I didn't even follow it at all. But
and I guess there's a girl named Tiffany.
You know what? And yeah, she's a new GM, I believe. Right?
Is she hot?
She is hot, and you know what? I kind of like the way she takes the position as a GM. Like the last month, what was it? Last Tuesday on ECW? Oh man, it was great. Her versus Swagger was great.
Her versus Swagger?
Yeah, Swagger was sitting in the middle of the ring saying he was upset that Christian beat him at Judgment Day and how he cheated in the last two pay-per-views and he wasn't going to leave the ring till they fixed the problem, and she came out and forced him out the ring, and it was great.
Either way, I guess this Tiffany is going to be out the door, and I guess she's going to be more of eye candy on the TV than a GM, and because it looks like they want Tommy Dreamer to start being. Oh,
that's horrible.
The GM.
No, that's horrible. Please don't do that.
So I guess that's that's the latest.
Let me tell you something. I've never been a Tommy Dreamer fan, but he can really work. I would give him some kind of job like Booker T had. He can work. He can work. I've never been a fan of his, even through ECW. But he can work. There's something I can't say he can't. But I wonder if they can just give him a job like they had Booker T, where he was kind of training people and wrestling at the same time.
Yeah, but then
I think Dreamer can actually push some really good talent through those doors, and he can actually make them better than what they really are.
You can, but then you throw them in.
You need someone with some talent like that to push these people, man.
You throw him in no man's land, which he already is. That's what I nicknamed.
Yeah,
ECW.
But he's so dedicated to that show and that program that he's going to be there, and I don't think it bothers him whatsoever. I think him beating Christian would be good for him, and I think the WWE should allow that, but they should give him a position to where he can push some really good talent and make that show bigger and better. Hopefully that way they won't be losing so much money. But I like the way this one girl is running up as GM. The only problem, the reason why I see why they would get rid of her is because they never really introduced her. They kind of just threw her in there, and from what I've seen, and then she's in charge, and you're kind of lost. This is what I'm having a problem with WWE is they're not introducing characters. They're throwing them into these stories, and then people have to kind of figure out what the hell they're doing.
I keep bringing this up, but I did have some spoilers for SmackDown that we could have just easily reviewed. I've already previously reviewed them, and we're not missing much. Which, that's why I asked you earlier today was the dedication now, the WWE is now going to. Is it more storylines than matches?
I think it's more storylines.
You think it's more storylines? I do too. And if you count how many matches they have in a 2-hour show, it's not that many.
Well, because I'll tell you why. It's because look at the talent they have. They have a lot of talent that's burnt out. They have a lot of big guys who can't wrestle. And then the little guys who can wrestle, the matches are already done. They've already wrestled each other so much. There's no new talent coming through those doors. And when they are, they're not introducing them properly. People can't follow them. They can't build a character off these guys. It's ridiculous.
Just count how many matches they have, and then how many how many backstage build-up storylines that they have in the back. And
it takes too long.
Yeah, it does.
It takes too long.
One of my biggest things I really don't like about Raw, and I'll tell you what it is. I'll give you the whole rundown right now, and I'll try to sum it up real fast. Raw starts. Okay, they do a recap of last week,
right?
Okay, of the highlights, and then it starts. They do the whole fireworks and everything. All that's fine. Okay, now let me. You know what? I should write this down. Matter of fact, I should. Hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and write this down. Watch this. Let me get this here. I'm gonna write down 2 names. Okay. There. I don't want you to see it. Okay. Now, Raw starts. Okay. Who comes down?
It's got to be Orton. Or, let's see, Orton or Batista or Cena. These are the only three that start off the show until Triple H comes back, wherever he's at. He's in SmackDown, I believe, right?
There you go. I just wrote down 2 names. One of them was Triple H, and one of them was Randy Orton.
But I think Triple H is in SmackDown now, right?
No. He moved back to Raw. He's just been off since that pay-per-view.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, so it's right now, it's got to be Randy Orton, Batista, or Cena. That's it. That's all you see.
Those 4 guys that you just mentioned, right? They take up, 20 minutes of the show.
They take more than that.
On the opening.
The show is, 3 hours now?
All 4 of them. I mean, this would be the whole rundown. All 4 of them. Well, one will start in the ring talking trash about the other person. Then that person comes down in the ring, start talking about wanting to make a match, and then the next person, because let's just call it let's call it what it is. It's Cena comes down because he has to involve himself in the main event.
Right.
And then here comes Vicky Guerrero in this case. And they go ahead and they make a match.
Right.
Okay. All that is 20 minutes.
Right.
And it goes into a commercial.
Right.
Not one match yet.
Right.
Okay. And then when they come back to commercial, it's either this. They do more backstage stuff and then go into their first match, which, their first match usually is a short one.
Right.
Again, in the back, more storylines. They continue with this backstage storylines, and then it's a commercial, and then they had the balls last week to do another backstage build-up.
Oh, my gosh.
And then do another backstage build-up back-to-back. And then they went into commercial. Not one match. And that was 15 minutes went by.
Oh, I know it.
That could have been a match. That's my biggest problem with them. It's just too much storylines in the back. Back in the days when I was watching it, dude, it was just, when they would do a promo or when they want to do an interview, it was, they had the funeral parlor, they had the barbershop, they had, the Heartbreak Hotel was kind of pushing it. That was getting towards that era. But, they even had Mean Gene Okerlund at the stage right there.
That was the best.
And talking to these guys. And then they would have the blue screen or green screen of wrestlers cutting the promos during the match. So, I remember Mr. Perfect would be doing a match. And that was when Mr. Perfect and the Genius was running deep. The Genius will go ahead and cut a promo, and saying about Mr. Perfect. While Mr. Perfect, you see picture in picture, was, doing a stand-up drop kick. Beautiful. That's how the way it should be.
Yeah, I agree. And then I don't. I don't like the picture in picture. We discussed this earlier, but I'm not a big fan of the picture in picture. It's going to take away from the talent who's wrestling in the ring, and I think they need their time.
I didn't know you were disagreeing. I thought you were agreeing.
I was agreeing to the fact that they should take away the backstaging area, and then they should make a small time for it like they were doing on SmackDown. I think SmackDown does a better job of the backstaging than they do on Raw, but I don't like the picture in picture because there's too many fans who really like this backstage stuff, and it's the reason why wrestling's falling apart now, and then people think that that's all they want to see is this talking stuff. If you want to watch some talking, go watch a soap.
Exactly.
But this is supposed to be entertainment, wrestling, and it's supposed to be fun for everybody. So pretty much that picture in picture is going to kill it if there's a new star coming up that I'm really interested to see him build and grow, and they got Randy Orton every time in the bottom of the corner. That's going to annoy me.
Yeah, I mean, I see your point. I just, you know what?